Hello and welcome. I'm Lanre Lasese, your guide on the program today. And I will be taking you through some key issues that were considered by lawmakers in the House of Representatives and the Senate, from the kidnap of schoolgirls in Dapchi in Yobe State to the ongoing consideration of proposed amendments to the 1999 Constitution. The lawmakers considered issues of security, the economy, and the development of the country. Now, our first report and the major focus of the program today is the sectorial debate organized by the House of Representatives on the steel sector, and specifically on how to revive the Ajaokuta Steel Company in Kogi State. Here's the report.
Lawmakers in the House of Representatives gather for another sectoral debate, with special focus on the steel sector and how to revive the Moribund Ajaokuta Steel Company in Kogi State. Following his visit to the company some weeks back, the Speaker of the House speaks on what he found on ground and wonders why such a national asset, which had almost been completed, was abandoned.
Could this be national sabotage, or have we been bewitched by some powerful sorcerers? To our collective shame, the present state of Ajaokuta Steel Complex is more of an expressive metaphor of our ineptitude and bad governance over the years.
Before the debate can commence, however, it is observed that no member of the executive is present. The Speaker informed the House that the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development had written that the two ministers will not be attending because of prior commitments. He also read the reply of the House to the ministry.
We think that the debate presents an opportunity for the ministry to debunk the widespread allegations that the proposed concessionaires have tied the hands of the ministry. We're worried that the apparent boycott of the session by your ministry can only lend credence to the allegations that the top echelon of your ministry are deeply conflicted over this matter.
Reacting to the absence of the ministers, the lawmakers are clearly upset.
That is why I personally and collectively would take it as an assault to common sense, to this country, for the two ministers, one of which is a product of these chambers, to ignore, poo-poo, and scorn the invitation and the letter from this institution.
And I'm happy that the APC that is in leadership in this house today is the one inviting APC ministers, and they are not even coming. You can imagine, which means the ministers don't have respect for even their colleague or even their party, because it is very shameful.
I'm happy that in the life of this parliament, a day like this has come to fruition. Our unnecessary romance as a parliament or the House of the People with the executive has brought this to fore.
Seem to be trivializing these issues. If you ask me, we should, and if by motion, pass a vote of no confidence and incompetence on them.
A motion is immediately proposed.
Let me rise to move that this House will set up a very powerful investigative ad hoc committee to look into the matter of Ajaokuta Steel Complex and thereby give the ministers a second opportunity for fair hearing.
This clearly was not what members of the House had in mind. A second part was quickly added.
I now move the second leg, Mr. Speaker, that based on the facts apparent to this House, that this House does move a motion of no confidence on the two ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it.
The Speaker then explained the absence of the Minister of Finance.
Next on the roll would have been Minister of Finance, but she's requested that she should be given till 4 p.m. to be here because she's currently in Kaduna and she's traveling by road. And the request has been granted, so hopefully she should be here by 4 p.m.
The House then went on to take presentations from some experts. They outlined the benefits the country stands to gain from the Ajaokuta Steel Company.
Steel is technology, steel is politics, steel is power. The nation that rightly and presently constitute G20 have only one common index, and that is they are all steel producing nations. So if Nigeria must join, we must be able to produce steel.
Composition of Ajaokuta can be broken into three parts. Ajaokuta has what I would call the primary units, which is the coke oven, sinter plant. Those ones are supposed to produce the liquid iron and also to produce the billet. Then it has what I call the secondary units, which are the rolling mills. And then finally, Ajaokuta has what I call the ancillary facilities. So there are three primary key units, key plant units in Ajaokuta. When we talk about 19% completion, the 2% that is remaining is really focused on the primary unit. It is only in those areas, the blast furnace, the sinter plant, and all this, that are not completed. The other two sectors are completed. Ajaokuta has 4 rolling mills, a billet mill, a wire rod mill, a light section mill, and a medium section mill. These plants have been completed. 2 of them have been run. They were run between 1984 and 1988, although at 10% capacity utilization. Those units are available. They can run. All that Ajaokuta Steel Company needs to do with whatever joint venture or whatever is to bring in a business plan and see how those units can be rehabilitated and put into operation.